Welcome back, world. This is Mr. Nicholas King Bowleg Brown, Father of the Year. This is day 61 of going live for 30 Day Challenge. That's right, day 61. So we double in a day, going past the initial challenge. Like I said, we're going live for 30 days, and the whole purpose of it is to go live to provide value, insight, wisdom, and resources to the community for showing the things that from my perspective, what I think will be able to help us move our families and our community in a more productive way forward. Starting from myself, my own personal journey. From like I said, last time I did a New Year's resolution was 2013. I've been working on that list from 2013 to now. So now it's almost 2026. So it's been 13 years. In a couple days, it'll be 13 years I've been working on the same New Year's resolution by learning from masters such as Napoleon Hill, Les Brown, Brian Tracy, Dr. Amos Wilson, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and a whole host of others. And got a whole bunch of books started on this journey. Didn't really have any books. Now we got a whole library of actually a few hundred books. I'm not exactly sure how anymore. Probably about 300 or 400 at this point. But the main focus question is, what do we want? For us to find out and how to get what we want, or how to keep things from happening that we don't want, we got to first figure out what do we want? What do we want for ourselves? What do we want for our children? What do we expect for ourselves, and what do we expect for and from our children? And once we start there, that's a starting point. So let's say we want our children to have the best education possible, the best chance to be successful. Whether we want them to be comfortable or rich or have a high-paying job or things like that. Whatever it is, there's a path, in a way, a pathway to get there. So we have to decide what it is that we want. For myself, I want my children to be financially stable, to be self-sufficient, to be smart, to be well-rounded, to be respectful, to represent the family well, to make us proud, to make themselves proud, to have high self-esteem, to have courage, to have discernment, to be mindful and aware, just to name a few things. And so now, knowing what we want, the next thing is to say, okay, how can we help them get there? Am I qualified? If I'm not qualified, we find other people that are qualified. So I use my strengths and my knowledge and my experience, share those with them, and we invest time together and things like that. And then also we find people who are best equipped to do so. Like I say, from learning from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Malcolm X, studying the history, studying documentaries and things like that. One of my favorite documentary series that I recommend is Hidden Colors. You got Hidden Colors. You got, I think one's called maybe The Eyes on the Prize. The Black Power mixtape is a good one as well. So therefore, when we watch these videos and these documentaries, it gives us a perspective of what was going on before we got here, how we got in the position, the predicament that we're in, and how we best move forward to protect ourselves and elevate and to keep those things from happening. So it's not easy, but it's a simple solution to do so. And we got all the resources. We got enough finances that we can do it, whether we start small or start big into where we go hire mentors or things like that. The first mentors, we'll get those in books, from a Grant Cardone book, a John Maxwell book, an Elijah Muhammad book, and so on and so forth. We got the love language, five love languages. What else we got? Okay. We got one. We'll bring out one of the Power Pack books. This is a very, very important piece of literature. Everybody in our community should have this book. This is one of my books that I still have to really get deep into because I got so many. But by Dr. Claude Anderson, Powernomics, this is one of the top books for us as black people in America. Powernomics, The National Plan to Empower Black America by Dr. Claude Anderson. This is a very, very important book. Very, very important book. So let's say we take our children, we go page by page. Let me just pick a page. Today, let's see, today is, what's today's date? What's today's date? The 30th? 29th? All right, page 29. Page 29 says, let's see what page 29 speaks on. Let me find the paragraph. The first thing that stood out, as soon as I put on page 29, you can see it says white ice is colder. It says white ice is colder. Another category of inappropriate behavior is the persistent belief that white ice is colder. Black America is conditioned by family, school, and all the social institutions to believe that whites are inherently superior. Although there have always been blacks who tried to disabuse other blacks of this belief, their efforts have had limited effect. The superior quality of the white man's ice remains a commonly accepted belief and expression in Black America. I am a witness. In the mid-1970s, I actually saw a real-life display of this inappropriate mindset and behavior. Standing with a friend in front of his office building in Tallahassee, Florida, I saw a black man drive up to a black-owned grocery store. He got out of his car and walked over to the ice machine. He picked up several bags of ice, examined them, put them back into the ice machine, then walked across the street to a white-owned liquor store. There, he went to the ice machine and took out 2 bags of ice. He examined them, then went to the drive-thru window to pay for them. My friend and I were so struck by the behavior that we asked him why he rejected the ice at the black store but purchased the identical brand from the white-owned store. He said, "I don't like Mr. Brown's ice. It's too lumpy. Jack's Liquor's ice is better." That day, I learned that not only was white ice colder, but apparently smoother to at least one black man. So, that basically tells me that we have a very, very big task in reshaping the mindset of many of our people. We have a faulty way of thinking, and like I said, it's come from the institutions, come from the schools, and come from various institutions in our society. So therefore, it is imperative that we teach our children not only the knowledge of self, but self-development, and first and foremost, the knowledge of God. Teach them as much about God as possible. Let them research, not only from the Christian aspect, but try the Islamic aspect, the Buddhist aspect, and definitely the African spiritual system. Whether it be Yoruba or Igbo or all the different spiritual systems from the motherland. So, let's see again. Once we realize what it is that we want for our children, we got to figure out how we get them there. Now we are this is where coming towards the end of 2025. We are in the digital age where everything's online. Everybody has phones, they got tablets, you got video games, you got all different kinds of things. And in this world, you're either going to be a producer or you're going to be a consumer. All of us are consumers to a certain extent, but all of us are not producers. If you want to build wealth and build riches and build freedom and have more time with your family and things like that, we have to be producers. Now, in the digital age, one of the fastest and easiest and most simplest and best ways to produce a product to start building wealth in digital age is you have to become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is more than just about buying and selling things for a profit. It's about solving a problem. So let's say we have a certain level of knowledge, whether you know how to work on cars, you know how to fix small appliances, things like that. But we'll say you know how to work on cars. You know how to work on cars. You put together a product as far as like how to do what you do. You can use ChatGPT. You can get someone that's an author or have written books such as we have. Or like one of the simplest ways you can do is tap into this technology. Like I said, we are in the digital age, and there is an AI revolution happening right now as we speak. You can get you a phone. You can use ChatGPT and other apps to do so. Tell it what you want. Tell it what you know. Tell it what you need, and it'll put it right. It'll produce it in a matter of seconds, and you can keep going into it, and you keep tweaking it how you want to do it. And at some point, you can use another app to have it formatted, or you can use ChatGPT to format it. Also, once you get those things done, you get your title and things like that. You can hire somebody from on an app, or you can outsource it. One of my favorite platforms to outsource our work is on Fiverr. So you can have somebody to format it and upload it. Once you finish it, after they edit it, if they need to edit coming from chat, you may not even need to edit it. Upload it upload it to Amazon, and you can have your digital product just like that. Also, you can have your formatter to make it to where you can have a paperback, hardback, and an ebook. In the digital age, you need your ebook as well. Now, that right there is one product. You got 2 or 3 different versions of it, and you can also have it created to where you can create a course teaching the things that you know from this particular book. You can have your book starting at $19.99. You put your course together for $197. Sell you 50,000 copies of your ebook or your paperback book. You can earn $1 million. You can sell you 5,000 copies or 5,000 courses, and you can make $1 million like that as well. Okay. Rather it take you 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 or 5 years. You teaching your children how to do these things now, and you teach them entrepreneurship. You have put them on YouTube and the different courses and trainings, and join different communities. Then they can get this information. It can speed them up and put them on the fast track to success, and they can make thousands of dollars a day, a month, $1,000 a day, a week, a month, or a year. It depends on how you do it. And they can do all these things while going to school. So at this time, it's never been a better time to build wealth and create resources for yourself and for your family for safety and security. So you can do all these things from the comfort of your own house and from the convenience of your cell phone. Not only do that, but what I'm working on myself, I'm building me a new YouTube channel, and I'm taking videos such as like the one I'm making right now in terms of trainings. I'm making thumbnails. I normally would have to outsource the thumbnails to have somebody do them, but I'm learning to use ChatGPT and AI to do it. Now, a lot of times, it's not coming out exactly how I want. However, I'm not having to pay somebody every time I make them. So we're growing, and as we getting better, it's getting better as we grow through this process. That's why if you see some of the thumbnails that don't look like me, but then some of them, they do look like me. So imagine I'm having to train it and tweak it as much as possible. And it's very tedious and time consuming, but this is what we're doing. And as I'm doing this, I'm creating some digital content, some digital real estate, and I'm also making physical products as well. So as I'm getting in the swing of things, you're watching me actually build new products and new services. And as I'm getting better, we're building wealth, we're bonding as a family, and we're getting richer all in the process in real time. So if we can do it, you can do it too. Not only that we're doing it, you should be doing it too, because you got access to the same resources. The same exact resource. There's a lot of free information out here, and there's a lot of information that you can pay for. Now, one thing I know is money is a tool that you can move things faster. You can speed up the process in a lot of things. So the world is really in our hands. So it's gonna be what we make it be. So what else would I say in regards to that? So that's what I've been doing all day, making thumbnails. We got so much content. Still finishing up on books, things. One thing about Chet, we'll have, let's say we got the book finished as far as the PDF or the manuscript. Damn it seems like every time we plug it in to make it check it or something, for some reason it keeps changing it. And then that's what's slowing up the process. And then once we get it to our formatter, then that slow down the process, because when we read, it's not reading how it's supposed to read. Because once we get that complete, then the boys have to do the voiceovers. Once we have the voiceovers done, then we get it to the animator and the illustrator, and that's what you're gonna use to make the cartoon for the book. So that's how we making all this happen. But that's the process. It's slowing down because for some reason the AI is not being consistent like it needs to. But it's getting better every moment or every day. So, like I say, once we decide what it is that we want the children to learn, if we don't know it, then we find somebody that knows how to do it. There's too much information out here, and we got too many resources for us to make excuses for our children to be going without, and for us to be remaining at the bottom. Like I said, we're leading and being number one in all the worst things, all the bad things. But when it comes to the best things, we're at the bottom of it. And it's, like I say, from my perspective, it's embarrassing, to say the least. Because when we go inside these different rooms, when we're around millionaires, billionaires, and all these different races of people, watching what they're doing and seeing how fast that they execute on this information, then when we come to our community, nobody knows what's going on. And not only that, a lot of times people don't even care. I understand some people are distracted with work and school and dealing with the trials that they had to deal with, but everybody's going through trials and tribulations. And not just us, it's all across the board. So we're either going to make some excuses, or we're going to hold ourselves accountable and start solving the problems. Because the problems that we have, we can solve them. If we don't solve them, then we become agents in our own destruction. So for instance, let's say Wednesday, New Year's Eve, we have a few events that we have. We got the Boss Brothers, going to have a Boss Brothers Learn to Earn, Meet the Boss Brothers fundraiser going to be held at North Park at the Med Grill from 2 to 3. Then I'm also I've also put something together for us, Almighty King Bolek. You can come meet. And then I'm teaching the same thing, giving the same advice from my perspective on how we're able to have our children move in a certain way, because we're teaching them some of the things that we know, and the things that we don't know that they need to know. We're making sure we get mentors, whether we're using books like these, or we're watching YouTube, learn from Nehemiah Davis, him 500, David Shands, or Myron Golden. Myron Golden is a great resource. I remember talking to, I was in the room with him 500, Marcus Barney. He was speaking in regards to him paying Myron Golden. He's saying basically the information that Myron Golden has taught or have shared with him, you can find on YouTube. So if you go on YouTube and just listen to Myron Golden, and he started breaking down things from his perspective, then it's going to expand our mindset. You listen to somebody where they make millions of dollars, not in a year, but they making millions of dollars days, weeks, and months. Some of our mentors have made $1 million in a day. Same mentor who's younger than I am. I'm 42. One of the mentors I'm speaking on now, he's made $5 million in one day. He's in his late 30s at this point. So if he can do it, we can do it too. But if somebody's doing things that we're not doing, it's something that they're doing something that we don't know, or they're connected with somebody that we don't know. So if they can do it, we can do it too. We just gotta want this information. Once we seek it, we just gotta start making it a priority. Because the program of going to school, get good grades, and go to college and get a job, that program does not work anymore. Especially when you look around and you're seeing that they're laying off thousands of people every day, from UPS, from Amazon, to all these different corporations. And we still got our children going down through the same program. And once you realize that schools were put in place to make our children become employees, to work the jobs of the people that's the other elites, And now that AI is here, and now they're making jobs, but now they're not making jobs. They're creating more technology to where you won't have to hire people to do the jobs. And then the technology for the robots and things like that, we end up doing it faster and efficient. They won't be late for work. You won't get no customer complaints. So that's what they're doing right now. And they say that within the next 5 years, this AI revolution is going to create more millionaires than the internet has created in 20 years. So if we're not in the know or taking advantage of these things, we're going to get left behind. And that's what's happening now, because everything seems to be speeding up faster and faster day by day. What this is. So I done found something in one of my books. This here is from Monday, September the 16th, 2019 at 9:06 p.m. Goals to accomplish before lease ends. Okay, did that. Okay, I've done a lot of these things on here. And some of the things I end up going a different route. Let's see. Established business LLC, done that. Established business bank account, did that. Rebuild credit to 850. I didn't get to 850. Established business credit. Some of these things I'm still working on. Purchase written prime, established. Amen. Author and produce first books. Did that for sure. And I've written these things over. So one way I make these things stick, if you notice when we were going to elementary school or middle school, a lot of times when we probably got in trouble or the teacher disciplined us, they'll make us write lines write lines. I didn't know what write lines was at first, but you do that to make an impression, make these things stick so you don't forget them. And so that's what I make myself do sometimes. So some of the stuff I learned at school, I do apply it to help me grow and develop faster and better. Let me see. So I read some out of Powernomics. I'm going to read something from chapter 12, the end of chapter 12, and Grant Cardone's Be Obsessed to Be Average. It says, basically, your first attempt to be perfect. I won't be a winner. Persist, and one day you will be perfect. Then persist some more, and you will find what you thought was perfect was a joke. Obsession is a cycle. There's no excuse for not persisting. Dodge persistence in the face of setbacks, challenges, crybabies, quitters, disappointments, mistakes, distractions, crisis, and petty bullshit is a part of the game for everyone. Quit feeling sorry for yourself. Quit complaining and act like a boss. Persistence is the characteristic of legends, greats, and geniuses who were called crazy because they didn't quit when the average person would have. When you persist long after others quit, regardless of the outcome, your power, confidence, creativity, and genius automatically light up. This happens because in the face of all these difficulties, you learn how strong and resilient you are. This is essential. Every time you persist, you have another story to tell, a story of who you are, someone who is a little closer to their full potential. When you're in the trenches, remind yourself of how valuable and precious these stories will be in the future. In the movies, no one wants to fight the guy who keeps coming back and can't be killed. How much success you have in the future may very well be determined by this one thing: how much you persist through the hard times. Now that's a great lesson there. Persistent. Everybody go through challenges, but the ones of us that become great and end up getting to the destination that we want are the ones that don't quit. Can't complain. If you want to cry for a moment, but you got to keep going. You got to lead by example, especially those of us who are considered men. We got to lead by example. How the boys gonna learn how to be men if they don't have an example? How the girls and the women gonna know how to pick what a man is that they never seen a man before. So we got a great task, and it's an honorable task and duty to have. So I would suggest when I find myself in a slump or feel like I'm not moving fast as I want, I always consider I need to learn something else. So in the process of me not moving fast as I want, I'll pick up a book, I'll watch different mentors and take in new information. And what happens is it makes me grow. It makes me grow. And as I'm not necessarily waiting for things to get better, I'm actively growing and being proactive, and it's making me elevate to a position where I get to where I can solve my problems or I can recognize what may need to be done. And most of the time we know what needs to be done. A lot of times we don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. If we can sit around and watch TV and movies and play the games and just lollygag for hours and hours and hours, we can pick up a book and read a paragraph. We can pick up a book and read a page. We can watch some mentors. We can, so many different things we can do, man. Like at this point, it really ain't no excuse. But in this thing of life, we only gonna get what we put in. So that's how you get what you got. You got to put in, keep putting in, keep putting in, keep putting in. So that's my tidbit for the day. Today is day 61. Check out the YouTube page. As of now, it's called Mr. King's Perspective. I started it, I want to say probably 7 days ago. Right now, I got about maybe 10 to 12 videos that I have uploaded. We got hundreds more that needs to be uploaded. But this is the beginning. We've been making great strides for the last few years, and we've been working on and building things for at least the last 12 and 13 years. And we're not going to stop. Like I say, the goals that I'm working on now, I set these goals in place as a New Year's resolution for 2013. I would show you, but I don't have my notebooks here. They out of town. Well, they're in Atlanta right now. Let's see. Here's another one of my favorite books here. This here is another one of Robert Greene's book, 33 Strategies of War. So the way I look at things, I look at growth and development, knowledge of self, entrepreneurship, raising a family, being a man. I look at all these things as like a military campaign. And so if we're soldiers and we're generals in this thing of life, we need to know how the soldiers and the generals think. So what better way to get these as strategies and playbooks? Same thing for another Robert Greene book, Mastery. Best to master ourselves. So I'm gonna pick another page from this book. Now I'm gonna go through. If you look, you see, I read this book front to back. You can see all the highlights and stuff like that. I've had this book probably over 10 years or so at this point. So while I'm not out clubbing and drinking and partying like I used to, I'm at home making plans, taking notes, growing and building myself and preparing myself for the future and becoming the person worthy and qualified to lead my family the way I do. So it's not happening by chance. It has taken great sacrifice, and it's been well worth it. And I look at life like a relay race. I'm running my race just like my parents were running their race. They passed me the baton. I'm running and learning and growing as I can, fast as I can. I'm passing it to my children, putting them in position so they can run and do the same thing as they grow and developing, become entrepreneurs and things like that, putting them in position to where they can pass the baton to their children, teach their children, and keep on going. So we're solidifying and reinforcing our foundation in the midst of challenges, just like everyone is. Nobody's saying these things are easy, but we're saying these things have to be done and they're necessary to be done. It seemed like just the other day, I may have been 20 years old or something like that. So time is moving faster and faster. So there's no time to waste. So use our time. Our time is our number one resource. And sometimes you have to pay people to save time to speed up your progress. So don't be tight with the money. Use that money like a tool, because it's a tool. Sometimes you got to pay to get in certain rooms, to get next to people, to build relationships. Then you get in these rooms, you add value. Add value, add value, add value. Take the information, build it, take it back to your family. Teach your wife, teach your son, teach your husband, whoever. Teamwork makes the dream work. Teamwork makes the dream work. So I would say, so I guess that'll be probably the title of this one, Teamwork Make the Dream Work. Be obsessed to be average, teamwork would make the dream work. We gotta want better for ourselves and better for our children. And nobody likes someone that makes excuses, especially when you get in these successful rooms. Nobody want to hear the excuses. You using excuses and giving excuses, you lose respect and you get ousted. Nobody really takes you serious when you're making all these excuses. When you got this, just like you can make an excuse, you can take action and hold yourself accountable. And that's what I'm teaching my boys and men. Like, we got to make everything count. So, this right here is our 9th publication. Brown 5 present Boss Brothers Ultimate, the ultimate boss activity book. This is a coloring book. It's a word search, word find, and it's only $19.99. You get one for your children, buy one for your nephews and nieces. One thing our books and things do, they will expand the minds of your children. It's gonna plant seeds, and our focus is to let everybody know if we can do it, you can do it too. So make the children be inspired. It's like, yeah, we're special, we're all special, but what we're doing is not special. We take the information that we're learning and we're applying it. So I suggest we do that, take that mindset, and you apply that to your children, your nephews and nieces, and we do that enough, everything starts in the home, and our community will get better. Be less crime, less violence, less shooting, less children roaming the streets. They can get paid and make impact at the same time and be productive members of society. That way people don't have to keep burying their children young or have to visit their children in prison and get bail money and bond money and things like that. We can be positive representations of our family, lead by example, and that'll help the children have high self-esteem and high self-worth when we raise the bar and the standards for them. So they're hungry for it, but we have to be complicit in their uplifting. We can't keep allowing them to crash out and watch it and complain and talk about it and just let it happen. Because it's a lot of pain associated with it. Only people really making money in regards to this would be the churches. It would be the funeral homes, the cemeteries, the liquor stores, and the clubs. I don't want to be in the gas station. Seem like they're the only place that really make money. Oh yeah, and the malls, I guess you could say, from ones that buying tennis shoes and stuff like that over and over and over. We got to get out this paradigm. We got to elevate our mindset and help our children elevate. And you got to get that information outside of the schools. Not saying school doesn't serve a purpose, but it's not the only way. That alone is not going to get us where we need to go with it. Even if we have children who are very skilled at playing sports, they may be skilled at playing sports, but they still need to get a certain level of knowledge, business sense, so they can handle their business, so that way they don't get taken advantage like a lot of the professional players that we've seen come before. The ones that end up making a whole lot of money, millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, end up being broke and getting robbed by their financial advisors and things like that from people from other communities that don't look like us, and some that do look like us. So we got to prepare our children so they'll be prepared for this world. And the way we do that is by leading by example. So, again, this is day 61. Happy holidays to everyone, and wish everybody a prosperous 2026 and beyond. Let's elevate our race and our families from the bottom to the top, and let's dominate. It's in our hands, it's in our power to do so. So once we pray to God, we got to expect it, and then we take action on those things we pray for, and then we do our part, God do his part, and meet in the middle. Even if things don't go the way we want to go, we keep moving forward, and even though we're making detours, it leads us down the path where we need to go. So just remember, we're not in this thing by ourselves. We got our ancestors on our side. We got God on our side. We got our children on our side. You know, we just got to work together. Teamwork make the dream work. So, signing off, Mr. Nicholas King Bowleg Brown, Day 61. Boss Brothers Universe. Check us out on YouTube, Mr. King's Perspective, and Boss Brothers Universe. Check us out on all social media platforms. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for all our supporters. Stay tuned. Oh, also, coming up, in addition to the event we got coming on Wednesday for New Year's Eve, the events we got, as of now, we have a book signing that's going to be at Barnes & Noble on January the 17th, Saturday, January 17th at the Renaissance. So show up, show out, come show support, come purchase some books, get this information for these children. Not only put clothes and shoes on their body and on their back, let's put some information in their head and in their mindset, and let's help them grow and help them grow fast. So thank you for tuning in, and until tomorrow, tomorrow will be day 62. So thanks for watching.